Like behind you?
Yeah.
But to the side, she's got a fucking
Anthony Joshua could knock Jake Paul out with his dick. Goes any other way, you know it's fixed, don't you? That's what he said, no man alive.
Forget, man. Francis African stick is made out of mahogany. Just loads into my ribcage.
Do you see a world in which Jake Paul is competitive in this fight?
No.
No?
No.
How do you see the fight going if AJ takes it serious?
It'll be over when he wants it to be over.
Thank you. So do you think it's going to be real, this fight? Do you think
Yeah.
it's actually... So you think that Jake Paul...
You couldn't fake it. You really think Anthony Joshua's going to put his whole livelihood on the line for Jake Paul?
No, I don't think he would.
So there you go. It's over when he wants it to be over.
There could be some kind of tacit agreement in the background.
How?
Where the other hand...
Then that's illegal. You're going to jail.
Exactly, it's illegal. That's what I was going to say.
So you can't.
Because it's not an exhibition.
No, it's a fight.
So
and people are betting on it. Big amounts of money.
So we're watching this. I'm flying out there next week to Miami to watch it. So I'm going out there. He's laughing. I'm getting some on. So it's all good. But it's like Jake Paul against Anthony Joshua. 6 foot. Was he 6'6"?
About that.
Fucking. Was he 16? What's 245 pounds?
He can't be a pound over 245.
What's
so
that in stone?
The best part, just on 17 stone or just under.
So Jake lost to Tommy Fury, and that's the one everyone keeps on. Do you think he's improved much since Tommy Fury?
Yeah, but do I think he's improved enough to be competitive? Unless I close my eyes and Josh is completely shot to bits, no.
Yeah, and so is the potential that Jake Paul, like, I know you keep saying no, I know you're right, but is there a world in which you see Jake Paul landing a shot and doing that?
Of course he can land a shot.
No, landing a shot and doing some kind of doing something.
No, as soon as he feels the first jab, he's going to be like, "What the fuck have I signed up to?"
Yeah, lovely. Well, at least you're on the same page as me.
He's just going to touch him the first time. With the first jab, he's going to go, "What the fuck was that?" It's a pair of 10-ounce grandson. Could you imagine when it lands?
10 ounce. That's what we wore. You're a big lump anyway.
A jab with 10-ounce gloves on hurts.
Yeah,
and that first jab lands, and as sharp as AJ will be, night.
So it's just a stupid move from Jake Paul.
It is. I just hope he gets up after the count of 10.
And just,
because that's the only worry in this fight for me. It's a win-win for everyone. I said before, I'll say it again. Boxing is about once you've achieved your ambitions and goals, which is a world title, that's our dream for all of us. Mine was the WBC world title. Once that was achieved, make as much as you can, as quickly as you can, and then you...
In my opinion, I think it's scripted a little bit because, of the weight difference, and, Joshua is a former, champion.
Well, first of all, Anthony Joshua came out and he said, that's nonsense. No way, not at all. He said, I think Jake Paul's going to come out there and he's going to try and hurt me.
There's no stipulation in the contract where I have to take it easy on him.
And of course, that's what he would say, right? I'm not saying it's fixed, by the way, because we know Jake Paul likes to sue people that say that. I'm not saying that. Because even Piers Morgan had to backtrack on that one. He had to come out and put a little tweet out and clarify because he didn't want Jake Paul coming after him and suing him, right? But the promoter, Eddie Hearn, Anthony Joshua's promoter, he came out and he said, listen, what are you talking about? There's no way on this earth that I'm going to be involved in a fixed fight.
Absolute bullshit. No way ever. Firstly, that's illegal. This is a real fight. There'll be no holding anyone up. There will be Anthony Joshua going out from the first bell to knock Jake Paul spark out as quickly as possible and as violently as possible.
And I'll tell you what, I will give that some credence because Eddie Hearn is one of the best boxing promoters on the planet. Of course, he promotes Anthony Joshua. He's not going to do that because, number one, he's going to lose his license. He's going to lose everything that he's worked for. So when you look at it all on paper, it kind of does lean towards the fact that this fight isn't one where there's kind of a rule set in place. Now, I know a lot of people, when they saw the Mike Tyson fight, were like, hold on, that was weird. Why wasn't Tyson unloaded? And that's kind of what I thought as well, right? And who knows? Maybe it was because Mike Tyson was 58 years old, and that is what they were tweaking. That was the advantage that they were giving themselves, right? When you look at Jake Paul, right, you got to give him his credit because he's clearly putting the work in. He showed a video on Twitter where he's hitting the bag, and he looks smooth, he looks fast, he looks powerful, he looks like he's ripping the bag. Of course, bags don't hit back, okay, we know that, but he looks good. And certainly when you compare it to the footage that he shared recently as well, from back in the day, right, when he first started, he was hitting the bag, he doesn't look as toned, he doesn't look as ripped, and he certainly does not look as technical. However, this power that Mighty Mouse is talking about, we've seen it in fights many times. He swings big looping shots. That is why somebody by the name of Tommy Fury was able to beat him, okay? This fight has been frowned upon, not only because of these suggestions that the fight might be fixed, but also from people in the boxing world that look at this as a spectacle and look at this as a circus, a sideshow, a freak show attraction, and also something that is extremely dangerous. Because listen, boxing, people die. Simple as that. This is not a game. You don't play at boxing. And I do give Jake Paul the respect for stepping in there and beating people like Anderson Silva. Anderson Silva came out, of course, and defended Jake Paul. He said, listen, the man's changing the game, right? And he said, all these people talking shit online, they have no idea because they haven't stepped in there, right?
I respect Jake a lot because he's changed the game.
And of course, Paul does have some power. He's got 12 professional wins, 7 losses. Hasn't really fought too many boxers. Of course, fought Mike Tyson, fought Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., fought Mike Perry, stopped Mike Perry, knocked out Ryan Borland, beat Nate Diaz by decision, knocked out Tyron Woodley, who's on the undercard, by the way. Tyron Woodley will be returning after many years and taking on Anderson the Spider Silva. I've got Anderson winning that fight all day long. I just think stylistically that's a really bad matchup for Tyron Woodley. But anyway, as I was saying, he does have some knockout power, so I'm not taking that away from him. But it's not like it's scary knockout power. It's not the type of power that's going to force Anthony Joshua to have to dance around the ring, get on his bike, play cat and mouse, dancing around, picking shots and stick and move. No way. Remember what Anthony Joshua did to Francis Ngannou in Saudi Arabia. He stood there, toe to toe, waited for the opening, threw a right hand. It was like absolute lightning and the power was crippling. Every single right hand that Anthony Joshua threw, he dropped Francis Ngannou, who is a gigantic human being who does have truly one-punch knockout power, as we know.
I need to knock him out.
I like that.
So Mighty Mouse, love you, bro, but what on earth are you talking about? Let's carry on.
Like a trip to Puerto Rico with Jake Paul. How was that? So you got fat for a little bit.
Yeah, those fat suits, that was crazy. It took like 2 hours to put on, and it was interesting, but it was cool. What they got going on out there. Logan and Jake live, very close to each other in a beautiful part of Puerto Rico, and it was interesting. It was really cool to see the way his camp's structured, and he's got his coaches, a massage therapist, and his chef, and his boys around him, and it was really cool. It's a cool fight atmosphere. He doesn't have kids. I think I don't know if he's married, got his girlfriend, but she wasn't there. She's very busy doing what she does. So it was very alpha, not a lot of women around. Just you got the guys in training camp, and he takes this shit really serious, and it's it was really cool to see firsthand.
Were you able to get any rounds with him? You're like, let me get in there real quick, show what a world champion MMA looks like, and let me like, I feel. Would you ever like, okay, let me get in there, box it, pop, no, come on now, pop, like, come on, like this. Like, do you ever get that itch just to, not that you're trying to, it's almost like when me and you train, right? Like when we train, we weren't trying to hurt each other. We're just vibing out. Like, you submitted me, I was like, good job, let's go again. Let's keep going.
Yeah.
Like, just to vibe out train, did you ever get the opportunity to do that? Or do you think that he wouldn't allow you to do that?
I remember thinking, like, when Jake was like, this was probably a couple years ago, I was like, man, that'd be fun to go in there and box with him, because I feel like I could have outboxed him a couple years ago. But now I'm like, he's a full-on professional. I don't know if you'd call him a heavyweight. I think this obviously next fight's heavyweight. Like, he's a big guy. He's 220. Like, he's a big guy. So for me, at this point, it's like I wouldn't even want to risk taking a right hand. Like, if we're gonna go in there and box, even if it's one round, it's like there's a chance I get hit, and I'm not trying to get hit by a 200-pound guy that's been boxing professionally the last few years. So the answer is no. I've never got in there with them at all. But there's a part of me that's like, oh, it'd be fun to go out there and spar, like, and move around, but no, we've never done that.
Gotcha. Yeah, I know. I mean, I don't expect you guys to go fucking 100%, but almost like if you're like, I almost feel like if Anthony Joshua, if you're in a room, it's like, hey, let me get a couple rounds with you. He will be able to go and like, okay, boom, okay, you're moving there. Oh, that looks good, to get that kind of vibe. Like, hey, I just want to see, let me move with you. I want to see what you can do. I don't want you to fucking hit me 110%, because if it's going to be that road, if it's going to be that way, then I'm going to fucking start grappling and start throwing kicks and shit. You know what I mean?
No, yeah, I totally get that. I think It's hard when you like a big guy goes with a little fast guy, because for us, like speed, boom, boom, and then it's like for the big guy, it's like fuck, I'm gonna crack you once just to slow you down a little bit. But you know, it's tricky. I even like avoid grappling with big guys. Try to minimize risk at all costs. Like I wanna, you know, I don't want to risk any kind of injury doing stuff, anything too silly. So. But yeah, there's definitely a part of me that would love to kind of go in there, play around and kind of like point spar a little bit. But you never know. You never know what. Oops, I accidentally cracked you with a big right hand, or you know.
Then you just throw a fucking high kick and you start grappling. Yeah. You fucking go at it, man.
Yeah, no, I have very good control. I'd say I've been sparring, you know, since I was 16 years old. Like I've very, very controlled with my punches, and not that he's not, you know, I just don't, if I've never sparred with somebody, it's like I don't really want to take the risk of, all right, let's see if you can, you know, be controlled.
Yeah, I gotcha. I just figured, I don't know, maybe that's something you guys got into, or would you have that itch? I'm excited for his fight against Anthony Joshua, because when it was Gervonta Davis, I was like, God damn, Gervonta's no bigger than probably me and you. Right? Yeah, and then, you know, Jake, if he's 200 pounds, it didn't make sense. But now that he's fighting Anthony Joshua, that's actually a pretty dope fight. You know, I saw something today. I hate the fucking internet sometimes. There was a clause. Somebody said there's a clause that don't go hard on me. And I'm like, come on, guys. Let's, like, I think Jake's taking it serious. I think Jake can knock him out. Okay, I'm going to go on record right now. Okay?
Wow.
I think Anthony Joshua's been knocked out by some weird ass shots before. Andy Ruiz, Dubois knocked him out with a short overhand right? Yeah. Jake Paul can land one of those shots.
Absolutely.
He can, right? Boxing is, you know, a sport where everybody's got a puncher's chance. That's why we're all watching, right? But if Anthony Joshua doesn't get on his foot, if Anthony Joshua doesn't get on his bicycle, start moving around and fight Jake Paul like pop, oh, you missed, pop, like use that range, start hitting the body, make Jake Paul work, make him miss.
Yeah.
He can destroy Jake Paul, but I don't see that happen. I think he's going to try to prove a point. And you know what? Maybe my black ass don't know nothing. I don't know shit about boxing, right? But I feel that Jake Paul could potentially knock out Anthony Joshua. I'm just saying it.
Dude, I 100% agree with you. I mean, if Anthony Joshua and Jake go stand in the middle and trade, like Jake has serious power. He's proved that. He's knocked a lot of people out, not necessarily that big, but he's got power. Exactly like you said. If Anthony goes out there and tries to really box and show, I mean, he's got how many more years of experience? Like experience is real. If he goes out there and uses that, and at the end of the day, in any fight, it's about who had a better camp, who's going to show up that night, and that's what it's gonna be like. But yeah, if Jake knocks out Anthony Joshua, it would be one of the most inspiring fights of all time. Like to see Jake Paul knock out someone that caliber would be insane. It would be fucking wild.
Like I feel Jake Paul could win this fight more than he could against Gervonta Davis.
Interesting. Yeah, fuck. I mean, I was still super excited to watch Gervonta Jake. I was very excited. A lot less. I like Jake. I really like Jake. He's a good person, a good human.
Of course. We're talking. This is sports right now. This is no favoritism. This is me taking. I don't know Jake. Right? People might think I have a vendetta against Jake because when I see the guys he picks and he choose, like in boxing, you get pick and choose who you want to fight. Where in mixed martial arts, you're fighting a tough motherfucker next. You ain't got no choice. You can say no. You say, no, I don't want none of that dong. I'm going to let dong do some more donging to somebody else. Okay, I don't want that dong. Right? But at boxing, you can pick and choose who you want to fight. Where for me, I'm like, I want to see Jake Paul fight Darren Till. I want to see Jake Paul fight somebody who's his age, who's hungry, who's 18-2 or 16-2. That's what I want to see. That's the martial arts side of me. Right? So when he decided to fight, you know, when they get to pick and choose their fight, it kind of pulls that you're not fighting the best. You're not fighting the way up the ranks. So that's where I've always had the hardest time with Jake. But when he was about to fight Gervonta Davis, I feel like Gervonta Davis is a sniper He's not a high volume guy. He's very good about eating punches and getting closer to his opponent and just letting it go. And I was like, I think Gervonta Davis could potentially knock out, depending on, like you said, what Gervonta Davis is going to show up. Is he going to focus in the camp, or is he going to keep doing these stupid ass crimes, right? So, but when he's going to fight Anthony Joshua, I was like, oh, he can actually beat Anthony Joshua, because Anthony Joshua has been knocked out from some stupid ass shit before.
I just don't want to see where I was getting with the Jake being my buddy and stuff. Like, I don't want to see a Francis Ngannou type knockout against Jake Paul. That's where I was going with that. I'm like, I as far as like the sport aspect of it, I want to see the fight. I just don't want anything bad to happen. You know what I mean? Like, and Anthony's he's terrifying. He's absolutely terrifying. So very excited. We're 10 days away from that fight. I think you guys will probably drop this closer to my fight, so this will probably be over by now, but they're fighting in 10 days. Very excited about it.
We dropping this. We dropping this either Wednesday or Thursday. That's what we do. They want to talk about some current events, and that's something you just got done training with Jake, and I want to know how that was, and then we spin off to Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua on Netflix.
Was not one of them I checked.